Hari Om to all. So we are doing Mundakopanishad, chapter 2, section 2. And today we will complete this section. So we'll summarize 1 to 8 verses and then complete 9, 10, 11. One part of the 8th verse is remaining that we will see today. So the question we are reflecting on is one, that is, what is that by knowing which I will know everything? I will gain everything. There will be fulfillment. So what is that? This chapter directly deals with this, the answer, that is Paravidya. What is Paravidya? Knowledge of the imperishable. So what is this knowledge actually? Here in this second section it starts, attributes of the imperishable is the knowledge of imperishable. So why it is not very easy to meditate? Because the clarity on the attributes of Brahman must be clear. I must keep contemplating on these attributes after I read all these things, and in the mind I must take one and keep reflecting on it. And then when the meditation technique, what is given of Omkara technique, spiritual archery, then directly the mind goes towards Brahman or self. What are these attributes? These are definitions of myself. So scriptures must define us. We must not allow other people to define us, who we are, who do not know themselves. So what are the attributes we saw in this? Self-effulgent, avihi. Then closest, subtlest. Sannihitam, guhacharam. It is there in my own self, in that cavity in the heart, that is physical symbolism, but it is there in the buddhi, which we can meditate upon. It is the support and abode of all. That means I am the support and abode of all. This knowledge is beyond senses and mind. Important. It is the most adorable, lovable desire and highest what we can seek. And where it is found? Found in the I am thought door. We will see how it becomes a door, can be experienced here and now by meditating on it using spiritual archery. What is the spiritual archery? The bow is the Om, or the Upanishadic knowledge where the Om is described as waking state, the waker, the dreamer, the deep sleeper. And when using this Om, when the mind, that is the arrow on which the ego is on the tip, goes towards Brahman, the self, it dissolves. It becomes one with the target. But before that, we have to sharpen the arrow and straighten the arrow, that is what is called as sadhana, what we have to do to quieten the mind and concentration of the mind. Chitta Shuddhi, Chitta Ekagrata. With steady, undeflected mind, we have to pull back the mind. What is pulling back the string? That is withdrawal from the world, pratyahara, and focus on the self. And so this becomes what is the meditation technique? Observe the body, then the thoughts. Then we must ask, who is the observer of the thoughts? Then the answer will come, I am. And when I am asking, what is that I am? That I am will disappear. And when that I am will disappear, I will recognize what is my real nature as Satchitananda. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So this Paravidya is the bridge between Amrutasya Esha Setu, between I am, body, mind, intellect, identification, to the realization that actually my nature is I am Satchitananda. Satchitananda, SCA. What is the result? Individual self becomes the infinite self. The arrow becomes one with the target. Perfect analogy. And what will be the result? Ananda Rupam Amrutam Yad Vibhati. I will go beyond all sorrows and beyond on change. Ananda and Amruta. What a beautiful, that's the reason it is said in the earlier mantras that it is the most lovable, most desirable, most adorable goal what we can have in life. Because whatever happiness we are going to get from Apara Vidya, that will be temporary. So when one knows by experience, that is very important. Vijnanat. What we should know, what one would know by experience, that Nirguna Brahma is equal to Saguna Ishvara is equal to Jiva is equal to world. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam. Everything is Brahman only. Everything is that one reality. Everything is that consciousness. When one knows cause is the effect, inside and outside, this earlier mantra gives us that inside and outside, both are Brahman. So what is one point? Everything is Brahman. And further also it is going to come. If you look towards left, there is Brahman. You look towards right, there is Brahman. Up, down, everything is Brahman, inside, outside. And the example is gold and ornaments. If I know the gold, I know all the ornaments. The ornaments are only having name and form. Not by the quantity, quality, power. The wave is also ocean, as Swamiji mentioned in the session. But not by the quantity, the wave is same as the ocean. Not by the quality, the wave is same as the ocean. Not as the power, the wave is the ocean. So this is where there is another school of thought Ramanuja brought of Vishishta Advait, saying that wave cannot be the ocean because ship can be there, float on the ocean, but it cannot float in the wave. But here, from the point of view of reality and nature, it is one. H2O is same. Then what happened? This is what we had kept little bit to ponder, because this is a very important verse. Which one? The 8th verse. Vidyate Rudhayat Granthi. So when these three or these four are known as one, Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Ishvara, Jiva and Jagata. Jiva, Jagata, Jagdishwara, we can say. Then what will happen? Ignorance, three things will disappear. Ignorance will disappear. That is that knot will be untied. Doubts will be disappearing and all karma will disappear. Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drashta paravare. So three things disappear. So what is the ignorance? That I am body, mind, intellect. This is the knot. The knot requires two things. And that's the reason this knot is not possible actually. Because between Atma and body, there is one entity which emerges, which takes the qualities of both, but doesn't belong to both. And that is that Jiva Bhava. From Atma, it takes existence and consciousness. And from the body, it takes name and form. So I say, oh, I am Prasad now. But actually, it is not belonging to both. So that knot opens up, which is not possible to be tied only. And that's the reason it is only called as appearance. If this knot would have been real, then the ignorance would have been real. What are the doubts? Till I realize, so as Swamiji mentioned, there are two levels, intellectual understanding and actual experience. I may understand intellectually everything, but I am not having that experience that I am Satchidananda Swarup. I am that existence, awareness, bliss. I am not aware of awareness. Because why I am not aware of awareness? Because right now my attention awareness is on the world, on the body, on the mind. And most of the time that I am Jiva Bhava, is entangled into, because that is his food, emotions, thoughts, ideas. I am this body, I am a man, I am happy, I am sad. All these things, this is entangled. Till that is not withdrawn, that awareness will not become aware of itself. Very interestingly, what is the meaning of ness? Ness, consciousness, happiness. So, ness means etymological meaning is a state of being. It's a noun. Happy is an adjective. Ness means a state of being. It is a noun. It is not an adjective or a verb. And that's the reason that ness is very important. And then these doubts only will go only when there is experiential knowledge. By intellectual knowledge and understanding, certain all the questions will be answered, but the doubter will not dissolve. And now karma. What is the meaning of karma goes? Karma means the result of karmas go. What is the result of karma? Sukha dukkha. How? Because every karma, whether it is, if it is good, it will bring sukha. And if it is bad karma, it will bring dukkha. So now we have to pay attention. This sukha dukkha comes to us in the form of what Swamiji took as an analogy of a postman. The postman is not the owner of the letter or the parcel or the Amazon person right now. But when this situation, object, or a person will come in our life, and this person will give us sukha, or this person will give us dukkha, some situation will come which will give us sukha, and this situation will give dukkha, or an object will be coming, it will give dukkha or sukha, or when that object goes, there will be dukkha, or when some objects goes, there will be sukha. So now we have to pay attention. This situation, object of or person is basically coming in our life as my own karma done in the past life. So from today, suppose one question dissolves for a person who is listening to Mundakopanishad and paying attention and contemplating on it. Why me? This question dissolves. Why this is happening in my life? I have not done anything wrong, but I am reading, I am doing chanting, I am doing so much of puja, I am listening to Mundakopanishad, I am doing so much of seva, but why this thing is happening in my life? This question is answered here. This question will not appear only. And for the person whom this knowledge happens, for that person there is no karma, because that karma phala bhokta is that karta bhav only dissolves because there is no individuality. I was seeing one interview by one person of a Mahatma, and that person asked him in the interview, can you describe yourself? Can you tell something about yourself? He told, I am not a person. I am not a person. This interviewer was not understanding what he's saying. He said, I am not a person. I am just a presence. So what he was mentioning is there is no individuality in me. I am not a person. I am just a presence, existence, consciousness. Because if the person means what? Not this body, mind, intellect. That jiva bhava is the karta and bhokta. So when that karta bhokta only dissolves, there is no karma applicable to this person. How can you say that's like a dreamer wakes up? As Swamiji gave example that I am dreaming and in that dream I murder somebody, and that murder I have murdered somebody, I am running here and there for many days, months, and the police comes and catches me, and now there is a court case going on, and the judge says that you are getting life imprisonment, and then I am going into that jail inside and the door is getting locked, and suddenly I get so fearful, I just fall down from the bed, and I wake up, all gone. So now when I wake up, now I have to listen. The police cannot come because the dreamer had done the murder, not the waker. In the same way, the body, mind, intellect and this waking state itself is a big dream. Ramana Maharshi used to say that you are thinking that waking is real and the dreamer is false. No, no. When I awake to that Turiya state, that Amatra after the 3 Om, in that there is no person, there is no individuality, there is no I am. That I am Bhava also goes. This one question I had asked to Gurudev, only one question I asked writing a letter. That time I was reading Nisargadatta Maharaj books. There he wrote, he was saying that consciousness is different than absolute. So he was saying that when the known goes, the knower also goes. The witnessing conscious disappears and what remains is only witnessing. Without the knower and the known, only knowing remains. So this is what we have covered. And his last part was when this is known, then three things disappear. That is Shiyante Chasya Karmani Tasmin Drashti Paravare. Ignorance goes, that is that not dissolves. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Sarva Samshaya also goes. All doubts goes. There is no doubt. Right now, I may know intellectually, but still I have a doubt. Really, there is Brahman. Really, I will get enlightened. Really, I will experience that in this birth. Which birth I will experience it? So now what? Now again to contemplate the lakshanas of the Brahman are given. So I would request Vidya to chant. Okay, Vidya, you can chant only 9th twice. We'll cover and go to the 10th again.
Okay, sir. हिरण्मये परे कोशे विरजं ब्रह्म निष्कलं तच्छुभ्रं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिः तद्यदात्मविदो विदुः हिरण्मये परे कोशे विरजं ब्रह्म निष्कलं तच्छुभ्रं ज्योतिषां ज्योतिः तद्यदात्मविदो विदुः.
So now the example is taken of the light. And next couple of verses are based on light. And one of the most famous verses coming, which we regularly chant when lighting the lamp or when we do the puja. So search that Brahman in the innermost layer, Koshe, Hiranmaye Pare Koshe. So where to seek this Brahman which is all pervading? I have to seek within. And it is the innermost layers behind, beneath, inside all the 5 layers. What are the 5 koshas? The 5 koshas are Annamaya Kosha. When I identify with Annamaya Kosha, I say I'm a man, I'm a woman, now I am, this many years old, I'm a senior citizen, I'm a youth, so all related to the body, I'm short, I'm tall, I'm dark. When I am identified with prana, they will say I'm hungry, and some people are feeling sleepy. That is because of prana. I am hungry, I don't feel hungry, I am feeling tired, I am feeling very energetic. That is the domain of prana. Then I am feeling very sad, I am feeling frustrated, I am feeling irritated, I am feeling jealous when I identified with the Manomaya Kosha. When Vijnanamaya Kosha I identify, then I have this idea, I have this opinion. I understood Mundakopanishad. I did understand Mundakopanishad. Both ignorance and knowledge are same. There is no difference for Brahman. Brahman is not interested whether you are realized or not realized. And then the 5th kosha is Anandamaya Kosha, that is a causal in which there is Anandagana, there is peace, joyous peace. And beyond this 5 koshas is Brahman. Now beyond means it is not beyond, it is within. Within means not that Brahman is that small like Atma dot entity. Atma I have to search, it is all pervading. And what is the nature of that? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Satchitananda. So there is an analogy given here of sword and Brahman. So normally whenever Pancha Kosha is mentioned, this analogy we take that Brahman is actually the sword, and normally the sword is kept in a cover or a scabbard, and then it is taken out. So that is the kosha. So here Swamiji has not covered this point, but there is another way to look at it. Earlier he had mentioned that it is located in heart. Heart means not the physical heart, but the buddhi, because it reflects. Brahman reflects most where in the buddhi, as I am thought. So we will see from that point of view why Hiranmaya, golden hue, shining with the light of Brahman. What shines first with the light of Brahman? The buddhi, the I am. The I am will shine the buddhi, buddhi will shine the mind, mind will shine the senses, senses will shine the body, and the body will shine the objects. Now, this shining is not shining like light, like you put halogen light, it is illuminating. As Swamiji mentioned, there is physical light, there is subtle light, there is psychological light. I know that I am, it is called as a light. In what light I know that I am? That is called that light. Light in the sense we normally think that it is opposite of darkness. No, it is the illuminating factor. So buddhi is called pare. There is one other way to look at it. Because Brahma Jnana is found where? In the buddhi. And the scabbard or the cover has to be polished. That is buddhi. And where the Brahma Nivas is there? In the buddhi. So Brahma Vritti is subtlest, so it is supreme. Sometimes it is indicated that it is inside, where ignorance or darkness is also there. So this Brahmakar Vritti will come and it will kill the Dehakar Vritti last time we saw. So it is called as a cave. Like there is a cave. In that cave there is darkness. And then when I go, I am not able to see myself. So I take a light, and when I take that light, the cave illumines. So though all pervading Brahman, but it can be found in the buddhi. And then buddhi, what is there? Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. That ahankar is there. I am thought. I notion, jiva. When I focus on that, then that attention will come on that I am, and then I am will dissolve. This is the process. So there is another way of looking at this. Swamiji did mention it, but Swami Advaitanandji explained that this is also one of the way to look at this particular mantra for meditation, for contemplation. Nishkalam. What I will realize that this is partless. Partless means no sajatiya, vijatiya, swagata, bheda. What is sajatiya, vijatiya, swagata, bheda means like I am human being different than all the other animals, plants and objects. That is one bheda. In as a human being, I am different than another human being. That is another difference. And as a human being, my hands are different, eyes are different, legs are different. That is swagata bheda. So in that Brahman, there is no division. It is divisionless. And that is Tat Shubhram, pure. So pure of what? There has to be some impurities. What are the impurities? Either we can take Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mata, Matsara. But when it comes to this, it is mentioned 4 impurities. Avidya, it is an impurity. Asmita, that is that ego. Raga, Dvesha, attachment, aversion. And Abhinivesha, that is fear of death. So when these 4 are absent, then it is called as pure. Otherwise, Nishkalam and Tat Shubhram both sound similar. Stainless, partless. So partless and impureless. There is no impurity in it. Jyoti, light of lights. Explained detailed in the next verse. Self-illuminous. Yat Atmavit Atma Vidu. That is what the knowers of Atma know. So once I know, so what is the answer now? What is that? By knowing which I will know everything. What is the answer? By knowing my own self, my own Atma, my own real nature, I will know everything. So once I know Paravidya, I will know everything about Aparavidya. So now clear that I have to know myself, then I will know everything. If I know myself, what I will know? I will know the world. Sarvavit, Sarvajna, everything about the world, past, present, future, in detail also. And I will know God. That saying we know, when I went in search of myself, I found God. And when I found God, I found myself. So some people go in search of God, they discover themselves. Some people go in search of the truth, they find the reality, that is Atma. And some people say, I will find my own self. Then they discover God. So Brahman is the abode, source, substratum of all. But how is this abode? You told it is Jyotirmaya, light, but here it is been mentioned it is dark and cold. No, I'm just joking because this is one of the famous verses which we chant regularly. But here what has been mentioned is that that abode doesn't have sun, doesn't have moonlight, doesn't have sunlight, doesn't have starlight, doesn't have any lightning and doesn't have any fire. Where there is no fire, there is no light, there is no heat. So this is a very, very famous verse which we chant, which I would request Vidya to chant thrice.
न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वम् तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वम् तस्य भासा सर्वविदं विभाति न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकम् नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वम् तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति
Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. This whole world is illumined by that. So how is the abode? There the sun does not shine, nor the moon's stars are there. They are not also not shining. And the lightning and the fire, there are 5 sources of light, actually speaking. What are the 5 sources of light in the world? The first is the sun. And the sun, how it is having that light because of that hydrogen fusion going on. It is a very complex process. And when the sun is not there, then the moon is shining from the reflected light. When moon is also not there on Amavasya day, the stars are shining. And sometimes the stars are not there, but there is lightning. And lightning is not there, there is fire on the earth we can create. But all this can illumine only the objects. This is the main point I have to underline. They can only illumine the objects, one point. And all these 5 sources are dependent on something for their light. The sun also is dependent because this earth, this solar system is 4.5 billion years old. And after this, now a lot of billion years are remaining. And after that 4.5 billion years are over, certain number of billion years are still remaining, then this solar system will collapse, the sun will go. So that sun is not eternally shining. So Brahman is the source of all light. So they are all shining by whose light? Brahman light. So outer world also is shining by Brahman light. My inner thoughts are also illumined by this Brahman imperishable Tattva, Akshara Tattva. And the highest light is coming on the I am thought. Like there are 100 mirrors, but all mirrors are little dull, turbid. But there is one mirror which is very highly shining, and that is I am mirror. So it is independent and it is illuminator of all. And who is that? I. So, before coming to Vedanta, I think that, in this world I was born, I am a very small person. मैं एक अकेला बेचारा क्या कर सकता हूँ? Here it has been said that you are the illuminator of everything. How? Because when I am not there, world is not there. When I arise, the world arises. So who is illumining the world? The I. When I thought is not there, there is no world. So who illumines the world? I illumine the world. This is a very, very famous verse. Many, many saints have spoken on this verse in various languages. But all saints will bring this light concept and say Antar Jyotihi, Bahir Jyoti, etc., etc. But our Kabir Das ji, I remember when I listened to this verse, Kabir Das ji says very beautifully, you know, अमर वह देशवा जहां से आयो. My abode, my world is different. And same thing he mentions. What is there and what is not there. He says, Panina pavanana dharti akasava. There is no water, there is no air, there is no earth there. And there is no akash, there is no space. Chandana suraja rena divasava. There is no chand, suraj, rena divasava. So Panina pavanana dharti akasava. Chandana Suraja Raina Divasava. It's a long one. I'll just cut it short. Adina Antana Kala Kalesava. There is no beginning, there is no end, there is no time, there is no space. Kahata Kabir ye Laos Lae Sandesava. Char Shabda Gahi Chalo Vaha Desava. So that is my abode. You please come. And how is that abode? We saw earlier mantra, Amrutatvam. Here he says Amar Vaha Desava. Because in this world of yours, there is Janma Marana. In that, in my world, there is no Janma Marana. There is no Chand, there is no Suraj, there is no earth, there is no. So just imagine in what that state would be. And why it has been described like this, because we must get attracted to that state. I must say, okay, enough of experiencing the scenery. Now I'm interested in the seer. Enough of content of experience. Now I want to experience that awareness of awareness. I am more interested in that consciousness, Akshara Paravidya, than the Aparavidya. What is the conclusion? Brahman is equal to self. I illumine everything. I know I am in my own light. There is no other light required. There is only one truth, that I know I am. For this, I don't require even God and scriptures. God comes later than I am. I am comes first. If I am only not there, where is God? I want God. I want to know God. I want to know Brahman. So the knower of Brahman, Brahmavid apnoti param, the knower comes first. If I am only not there, where is the Bandha Moksha seeking? And the 11th verse, which is the concluding verse of this chapter 2, section 2, we will see it is a conclusion of this Paravidya topic. Yeah, Vidya.
ब्रह्मैवेदममृतं पुरस्तात् ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणतश्चोत्तरेण अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृतं ब्रह्म एव इदं विश्वमिदं वरिष्ठम् ब्रह्मैवेदममृतं पुरस्तात् ब्रह्म पश्चात् ब्रह्म दक्षिणतश्चोत्तरेण अधश्चोर्ध्वं च प्रसृतं ब्रह्म एव idam vishwamidam varishtham.
So what has been mentioned is that this Brahman is everywhere. Top, bottom, left, right, east, west, north, south, above, below, in front, in back. So now what you are seeing is Brahman. Where you are sitting on is Brahman. You just look around. All your family members are Brahman. Or your house is Brahman. All, everything is Brahman. But my neighbor is not Brahman. So everything is Brahman. So our vision changes. So this is living meditation. Tukaram Maharaj says, Jethe jato tethe tu maja sangati. Chalavisi hati dharoniya. Wherever I go, you are there with me. So people who are bhaktis, follow bhakti marga, they will say, God travels with me everywhere. Then he says, Ata Baisalo Shezari. Now I am sitting next to God. Earlier I was sitting at his feet. Now I am sitting next to him. रामदास स्वामी says, ज्या ज्या ठिकाणी मन जाय माझे त्या त्या ठिकाणी निजरूप सुसे. Wherever my mind goes, there I find your roop, your Sadguru's feet only. What is the essence? Reality is everywhere. There is no limit. There is oneness. This is the truth. This is Paravidya. There is only oneness. So after realization, what will happen? I will see oneness. Now what I am seeing? Differences, plurality. Why it is appearing? Because of avidya. One appears many. So we do not have many gods. We have one God with many forms. How? In dream, there is only one mind which appears as river, lion, tiger, examiner, paper, everything is at one mind only. As snake appears on rope, world is superimposed on Brahman. So Brahmai Vedam Vishwamidam Varishtham. This is equal to that. Tattvamasi. Knowing this is knowing everything. This is the supreme knowledge. This knowledge will give fulfillment. This is Paravidya, and this is how it is to be practiced and realized. And that's the reason we are told in Karma Yoga to do selfless service. One person went to Ramana Maharshi and asked, how to deal with others, difficult people. There are topics, how to deal with difficult peoples. So one person, how to deal with others, he told there are no others. Where is the other? There is only one. So what is the Vedic conclusion? There is only Brahman, no duality, and this is called as Advait. This is Paramartha Satya. This is the highest truth one can know intellectually and one can realize it. And there is only one. And when there is only one, there is happiness. एक में शांति, दो में भ्रांति, तीन में क्रांति. And the law, and this is a completion of this khanda. We completed the second chapter, second khanda. What is now remaining is the third chapter, and two sections are there in that. On this book, what is the picture given of two birds? That analogy comes. So very, very powerful, very subtle topic. What are these two birds? What is the connection between these two birds? What is the relationship between these two birds? What both birds are doing? And both birds are in me only. Thank you very much. I hope you are enjoying this wonderful Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much.